Hey, welcome back to my channel. I haven't uploaded in a while. The main reason being we've been busy, a lot busy. My day work has been a little busy. So most of the time I come back to the house tired, but I'm still thankful because, yeah, it's a blessing. Now, I had promised to talk about my employment journey and to break down the story of my unemployment journey into segments. Now, the first one I decided it will be about the general overview of joblessness. I'm a job seeking in Kenya. Now, as any part of the world, Kenya is thick with unemployment issues and it's getting thicker by the minute, especially with this corona and our out of touch government and the way they're approaching things. Now, after being in employment for a few months, I've come to realize it's not that there are no jobs in Kenya. There are jobs in Kenya, but not as much as there are graduates or skilled people who are ready to work, who are ready to get those jobs. I mean that graduates say like twice the job capacity of Kenya, and it has been affecting us left, right, and center. Because after I graduated, I was hit by the shock of a lifetime. Because in one or another, I thought that after graduating, you'll just send your CVs to the relevant bodies and you'll get a job. Anyway, it was just crazy for me. I was reduced to getting whatever thing I can to make some money just to pay rent and to survive. Not even getting paid because of the skills that you have or anything. And it's happening all over the world. So I'm not here calling for a pity party or something. I'm just saying how it was for me. The first month after school and everything, I went through depression. Main reason being um, you don't have the support that you expected, and the government that promised you that after you've gone to school, you've had the best grades, now you're graduating, that there are jobs in Kenya, there aren't any, and the same government is not even fighting for you to get an opportunity to defend yourself. So I went into depression, yes, but I also got just funny jobs here and there. I used to work for a certain friend of mine, had an online writing account. If you're from Kenya or you're from whatever world and you know about online writing, then unajua wetu ni hustler. Yeah, it was any I had to work for that chick for several months for me at least to survive. Then I also had to rent a house with a roommate so that you can at least cost share and at least, okay, if say for this month you didn't have rent, at least the other person can take the burden while you figure your life out. Now, during that time, during that period, I learned a lot of things that I wish I knew, like when I was in primary, am I in whatever pre-high school, whatever you want to call it. Because I think I would have handled things a lot different than I did. I wouldn't have wasted my time in a campus 4 years, 4 good years, studying something and not even building yourself or building a rapport that you can fight for yourself or fight to survive. Amongst the things I learned during that time, you need a network. Some of my friends wenye walikuwa na a strong network or some kind of connection here and there were able to get jobs earlier. That's why I said there are jobs in Kenya, but there are not enough jobs for everyone. So if you don't have a connection, you need a dynasty last name or a known name. Anyway, And if you don't have now that name, you need to have gone to the group of schools shenanigans, because it's the only way that you can get a job easily. I'm not saying if you don't have those three, you'll never get a job. You will. And by the grace of God and whoever else is in your life, you might even get one faster than people who have those three things that I've mentioned. But I'm just saying it will be hard for most of us. I mean, it was hard for me to even get a call back or an interview without a connection. Like the first job I got connected by a friend of a friend who was working in that company. So I wouldn't have known about the job because you're applying online, but most of these companies don't even advertise. And by the time they're advertising, they already have someone who can, um, who, okay, they already have the person to fill in that post. And the funny part during that time also, you find that since people have big last names or they have connections or they went to group of schools, they get these jobs, but they're not qualified. I went as an intern to a certain, I won't mention names, but anyway, I went to a certain company as an intern, IT intern. And amongst the hardest task that company had come across was taking off grid lines from a Word document. They had waited for about 6 months because the time I joined the company, the lady whose computer had such issues had been waiting for 6 months for the computer to be fixed. Something I fixed within a second. Now you start wondering if in IT they're employing people who have no experience, who have, say, who have no skill. Imagine what kind of doctors we are having. Yet we have people who've studied medicine, maybe not even getting the job, and they're qualified for it. We have people who can, I don't know, people who are qualified but are not getting these jobs. And the ones that are getting the jobs don't know how to do it. These are the kind of problems to extend the curfew. And they sat down and in one way or another they thought that was the right thing to do. But I think they're so out of touch. And the blame is on us as Kenyans. Because, on a serious note, we keep electing these people who have no idea what being a common mwananchi is. Right now we have families that are evicted from their homes due to rent arrears after the government said they are going to take care of it. We have people who've lost their jobs. We have people going through depression. We have people being mugged every day since others are looking for money. People are getting killed on the street, not by the virus, but by, I don't even know. It's just sad. It's just a sad scenario. But I also interacted with some people working in the slums, and the government is taking care of, though wanafanya pole pole. Alafu I don't know what people are advising him, because yes, you can take food to the people in the slums, which is a good thing, and kudos to the government for doing that. But what about the working class? They have been halved by now. It's like half of the working class, half of the people that bring income to the country don't have their jobs. And they are seated very well, waiting every day at 3 to announce the number of infections that we are having as a country. And they feel like they have achieved a lot. Anyway, it's just crazy. But that point, I wasn't using it as a political campaign. I was just saying, when you give opportunities to people who do not deserve or who are not qualified, it's you who suffer in the long run. You're the one who is going to carry that burden. Because I wasn't able to get the IT job at the place where I was an intern. I'm sure somebody else got it, and I'm not saying I deserved it more than they did, but I'm just saying they had an entire flow of IT people or technicians who could have sorted a lot of silly problems, but they still had them. A span of 6 months without solving an issue, a small issue in IT, and we're expecting the same government to guide us on how to use online facilities to make business and maintain ourselves. If we're not going towards a hellhole, I don't know where we're going. Anyway, now that I've covered the kind of mentality I had, the kind of environment I came across after graduating, now the next one will be about my my first interview after graduation, my first formal interview. And it's quite interesting too, because through that we are going to tackle a number of issues. And I'm hoping whoever is listening to this, if you're not graduated or you've just graduated, have a very open mind, and at the same time be creating your own backups. Because being qualified for a job by maybe graduating, by going through the entire process of studying and getting the skills, is no longer enough in Kenya. You need to get good connection. You need to have a group of friends who are thinking ahead of time. You also need to have a very supportive family, because it can take you about a year to about 10 years for you to even get a job that can sustain or support yourself, that you can support yourself with. You also need to have, well, thick skin. In this country, if you were to survive, you need to have very thick skin. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'm hoping that um for the 2 weeks that I wasn't able to upload, I was trying to study a little bit more about video editing and applications that I can use to edit on an Android phone. So if anyone knows about that, let me know, because I really need it, and I need the, the direction of how to get it. I've tried downloading several on my PlayStation, anyway, Play Store, and I sijapata yenye ni poa. So if anyone knows about it, let me know, and let us grow together. If you know of a place where maybe they're announcing they need someone, ama there's a job opportunity, connect a friend. Make sure someone gets somewhere, because a lot of people are giving up out here because they don't have someone to inform them on where the opportunities are. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. I hope they help whoever they do. And I'm hoping that we'll continue growing together and enjoying life. And very soon I'll ask for a collab from my friend. She started her YouTube channel too. And it's quite good. It's quite good. So have a nice time. Subscribe, like, share to your friends, comment, let me know what I need to change or what I need to include. And have a nice time. Avoid the virus, live accordingly, and avoid stress. If you can live as a free spirit, good for you. Have a nice time.